Alright guys, I'm right here with Mr. Cin. Mr. Cin, where you from? Where'd you grow up, bro?
Born and raised in Las Vegas. My family's been here since 1944. My great-grandfather, Delmar the Duke, they called him Duke because of like Clint Eastwood, or they called him the Duke. And he was a tough little mean old son of a bitch. But yeah, he came out here with my great-grandmother in 1944 from Pennsylvania. And then they basically helped build the city. And then I was born in the 80s. My dad, he was born here. My mother, she's from Tucson, Arizona. My mother met my father at the Riviera. He was, it was called assistant to the waiter, basically a busboy. And my mother, she worked as a cashier at a place called Oli's. If you haven't heard of it, you probably got to be like 50 some plus years old. I don't even remember that place. But yeah, was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, grew up all over Las Vegas. I was born at Women's Hospital, which doesn't even exist no more, on Sahara and Bruce. And then we moved with my grandparents to Trop and Boulder Highway, or around Missouri Avenue. And then my mother didn't stay with my father too long. He was too busy selling weed, bouncing around with different women, and he just really didn't care. But yeah, so my mother, she was a single mother, took care of me. We moved to Arizona with my family to Tucson, and then we came back. And basically she met my stepdad. They worked together at Smith's. She met him, had my brother in the 90s. And about 90, 91, we moved to North Las Vegas. Not Northtown, but North Las Vegas, like Cheyenne and Allen area. Back then it was all brand new houses. We were the first to own our house. But everybody started coming in from the west side, Northtown, the east side. I went to Swainston and Cheyenne. And it was a mix of everybody. We had Little Locos, Sanchucos, 28th Street, White Fence, Bloods, Crips, and Gershons, Pyrus, Rolling 60s. I went to school with like a mixture of everybody, but it was hard for me because I'm white and Mexican, or Italian and Mexican, and with the white people, they thought I was too brown, and the Mexicans thought I was too white. They said, you don't even speak Spanish. So, you know, I just stuck around. I hung out, you know, with Mexicans and met people from Little Locos. And my cousin, she actually went to Western with some girls from Little Locos, and then she started coming around. She was living with us, and she taught me, you know, the game. We were out tagging schools and doing things and stuff like that. I started coming around Northtown, hanging around Pecos and Cary, Ellis Street, Cary, and gang banging and doing all that stuff. And then later on, I was rapping at school, and it was cool. I was hanging out with the Marisco brothers, Luis, Victor, and their older brother, Sergio. They're from 28th Street. They're the homies. They're cool. Victor, we were in like 9th, 10th grade. He had told me one time, because we do freestyles in the bathroom, all that shit. And he was like, hey, homie, we're going to this party. It's a bad boy from Click of One's birthday party on the east side on Charleston and Tree Line. And Johnny Boy's gonna be there. He just got out the joint. He said, I want to introduce you to him. I said, sure, cool. So we get there. Johnny was there with his wife, Andrea at the time, his ex. Shout out to their sons and Johnny Boy. So we get there, and then he introduces me. Johnny Boy gave me his phone number. Said, I'm gonna put you on an album. Originally, I was supposed to be on Silent Solados, but then when time came, he said, are you an East Sider? I said, no, I'm from Northtown or North Vegas. He said, okay. He said, this is an East Sider album. I was supposed to be on that song, Killers Don't Talk, if anybody remembers. Me, Quete, and Johnny Boy. But I didn't get on there. He said, I'm going to put you on Gangs of Las Vegas. I said, sure. So I made the track 3, Northtown Solados. That blew up. The best songs on there was like the Lil 40 Ounce, Hit 'Em Up, Mine, From What People Were Saying, and Johnny songs. So that was cool. I was rolling with Johnny Boy. He was doing his thing. He was blowing up. This was like 20 years ago, like 22 years ago, back in 02, 04. And then he had told me, he was like, I'm gonna put out your album. Put out your album. Okay, cool. So he even put me in the coming soons of some of his albums. And then after 3-4 years, by the time I was like 18, 19, I'd met him when I was probably 14 or 16. And by the time, 3-4 years passed, he had put out Threat to Society, and he was signed to Latin Gangster Entertainment / Universal. So I said, yeah, we about to be on. And then, he had told me, I said, Johnny, what's up with my album? He said, Cin, dog. He said, I'm busy with my career. You gotta get a job. You gotta pay for your own music. You gotta do your own thing. So at that time, I'm a teenager. I was pissed. So within 6 months, I put out my first album, Hypnotic and Chronic. And I had dissed him on like 3-4 songs or whatever. I was mad. It got around. Me and him didn't talk for like 20 years. And then, I just started doing my thing. But then I fell off because I was still in the streets, messing around and fighting with people, doing all kinds of stuff. And I really didn't care about music because I was like, I was just really in the streets doing things and stuff with my cousins and some of the homies. And then basically I didn't do too much after that for a while. Getting into trouble, went to prison, got out. Only did a year. I was at the camp. I wasn't on no yard or nothing. It was a violent crime, but when they came to classify me in High Desert, they said, hey, you barely made it 1 year violent free. They said, you want to go to camp or you want to go to Ely, slam down with all your homeboys? I said, if I get the chance, I'm going to camp. So I went to prison camp. It was cool. It was like Camp Snoopy, Disneyland. You got to do what you want, go outside, hang out. They even had little ducks. You got to feed the ducks. It was all good. Work out. I was mostly with the working out and stuff like that. Then I got out. And then when I was younger, about March 14th, 2009, that's how serious it was that I remember. I was coming from the studio, and at the time I was taking the bus. I was coming from the studio and I had to get off on Owens because my mom, she lived on West Vegas. So I had to catch Owens home. It was like a Saturday night. I went to 7-Eleven on Eastern and Owens on that side. Everybody knows that 7-Eleven, Civic Center, Eastern, Owens. And somebody hit me up and asked where I was from. And I turned around, I told him where I was from, and he said where he was from, and then he pulls out a gun, because I went to go smash him. He pulls out a gun, I turn my head, boom! He shot me, and it felt like a hot-ass brick hit me. And then I hit the ground, and then I ended up getting up, and I could feel like blood just leaking. I ran across Owens to the Civic Center side from Eastern. Almost got hit by cars and everything, and he's still shooting at me. And then it was crazy because I went behind a building across on the side of that 7-Eleven is like, what is that? That's like a muffler or tire mechanic shop right across on the side of 7-Eleven on the other side of Owens. So I go behind the building. The guy gets in his car, throwing up his neighborhood and everything, and just laughing and shit. I'm leaking. I get behind the building. Or I'm running down Civic Center. So I go into their neighborhood, I'm banging on people's doors. Nobody wants to help me because they see this dude just bleeding out of his head like bad. So I pass out on the street, basically wake up. I told somebody to call my daughter's mother. I wake up in the hospital. In the jacket that I had on, it was like the LV Hall of Fame LV jacket you get from the SWAT meet. Basically the doctor, I had got grazed, but that felt like a hot brick hitting my head. And then the couple times he did shoot, it was crazy because there was bullet holes through the sides of the jacket. The stuffing was coming out, and there was 1 or 2 bullet holes in the head. And all you can see is like the black smoke or the
powder?
The powder, yeah, the gunpowder. And then the doctor, you know, I was out of it for a while, and the doctor, they're like, you got grazed, but you know, nothing really went in too bad. And they had to wrap up my head and stuff, and I was freaking out, flipping out, screaming, yelling, because all kinds of people were touching me when I woke up, or the nurse was trying to like touch me. I was freaking out because I'm like, where am I at? What's going on? Who are you? And then they came with like the book and the gang book. I said, I don't know. I don't know who did it. Everybody looked the same. I don't know. I said, you know, get that out of my face. I'm gonna handle things the way I handle things, you know. And then, yeah, that was crazy when I got shot in the head. You know, but that's
You
that
have a
life.
scar?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, so, you know, I was like, damn, you know, it's not my fault. I got to take the bus at a young age to the other side of town from another side of town, but, you know, I never expected all that to happen.
And then also, I've been looking at your IG, bro. I've seen a lot of your music. Tell me something about that. When did you start rapping?
Well, yeah, I started rapping. Probably I've been freestyling since I was like 10 years old. My influence were Dre, Snoop, Tupac. I was a big fan of Death Row Records. As groups go, Bone Thugs and Harmony, that's about it. That's all I used to really listen to. I used to go to school and I was so influenced, I'd be in class talking about ain't nothing but a gangster party. And everybody would be laughing and stuff. I'd get in trouble by the teacher, stuff like that. And then, yeah, I got on that compilation, Gangs of Las Vegas, put out my own album. Then I put out a few more. And then everything was up on YouTube for years, 10, 12 years. And then I ended up erasing, taking everything down because probably about 5 years ago, my brother had killed himself. He shot himself. He was a Marine, and he got out. He had like PTSD, and then he was like bipolar, and he shot himself. He killed himself, and I got depressed for years. I got depressed. I was taking it out on everybody. All my family, my friends, my homies. I'm watching everybody on YouTube make music in Vegas. People that were from Vegas, people that weren't from Vegas. And, you know, I'm a blunt person. A lot of people don't like me because I'm blunt. I say how I feel. So, yeah. But, you know, sometimes I can't bite my tongue. But as I got older and things, you know, I just learned to keep my mouth shut about a lot of stuff, whether I like it or not, or I think somebody's doing right or wrong. I just let them live their life. I got my own kids to take care of. You know, I got 3 daughters. My oldest, Jasmine, she's gonna be 18 years old. My middle daughter, Aaliyah, she just turned 16, and my youngest daughter, Christina, she'll be 12 in May, you know, in this upcoming month. Shout out to my daughters, shout out to Christina, I love you. You know, thank you everybody for supporting my music and things and stuff like that. But right now with music, I got back into music because it's my passion, and then I just I said I need to shake this funk. I got to get up off this, you know, depression shit because of my brother. With my brother, you know, affected me, my mom, the whole family. Things ain't the same no more. Things aren't the same. And so I just got a producer, started getting beats and recording again. I put out Put It In Work single 2023. I put out about 4 singles in 1 month and 2-3 videos. I got another video coming in single, Staying on My Grind. The single's already out. The video should be out in May. I'm working on another single I'm gonna release called Las Vegas. I'm gonna shoot the video on the Strip. So that's good. And then I got one called Climb to the Top with his name is XO Drew. He's like supposed to be like the Weeknd's up and coming guy or something. He sounds just like him too. I'm gonna put that single and video out probably either soon or November, between now and November, because I got like one more video for the summer, the Las Vegas song to release with the video. And then I'm just getting more beats and just gonna keep grinding, building up my catalog, building up my videos and things like that. And I'm glad what everybody's doing. There's a lot of young, fresh guys coming out of Vegas with some bars. Like 20 years ago, it wasn't like that. Everybody that was big, it was Click of One, Doomsday, Murderous Click, Johnny Boy, 420, you know, just to name a few. Mr. Nano, that's my homeboy right there. Shout out to Mr. Nano. He should be coming out of Southern Desert in 2 years. He's been in the joint 18 years. That's my best friend since high school. And, you know, I'm sure he'll like to see this, and I'm going to connect you with him when he gets out.
Oh, yeah, I would love to hear.
You know, if you talk about you were in the streets 20 years ago and you didn't know Nano, nah, you wasn't doing nothing in the streets. You know, well, he got along with everybody. His dad, he's an OG from Los Hermanos. They're from LH, from Henderson. But yeah, so I just plan to keep putting out more music, things like that, more videos, get on a lot of podcasts, do whatever I can do, get these numbers up. You know, I see a little bit of money coming through with the music. Not a lot, but a little bit.
But soon enough, bro, soon enough.
Yeah.
It's gonna be flowing. What would you say, bro, to the younger generation that want to become rappers? You know, what would you tell them from what you learned from the past?
You know, I mean, just keep it real. You don't gotta be all in the streets and doing this and that, because, you know, then you end up getting thrown in prison. And if it's like for anything super bad, you know, you might not get that chance to do your music. I just say, you know, just focus on music. You can rap about what you see, who you know, who you hang around. You don't have to be in the streets doing all that. And, you know, I would hate to see somebody that wants to rap end up getting shot, killed, and things like that. You know, now that I'm older, I'm almost 40 years old. You know, I'm not really on that pushing young kids to be in the streets and things like that. So I say just focus on your music. Just build your, just network, and just try to get along, do music for everybody. You don't want to segregate yourself to the world, you know, or just because you mess with these people or you don't fuck with those people. You know, just tell your story in your raps, and just don't give up. And then when I was probably a teenager, my mother had told me, she said, you know, your great-grandfather, he's affiliated, or he associates with the mob back in the 70s, the 80s. Mostly it was the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, because who he was affiliated with Tony Spilotro. Basically, Joe Pesci played Nicky Santoro, the character of Tony Spilotro. My great-grandpa, he used to hang out with them at the Riviera. My mom said he would get like checks or from Teamsters or from the casinos. He'd just get checks from every casino sent to the house, like Riviera, probably the Dunes, the Desert Inn, like all them 70s, 80s casinos. She said, no, your grandpa, he stays home. He's mafioso. He just stays home, just chills in his robe. And he'd just be collecting checks from these casinos, but we didn't know what for. Just taxing them probably just to stay in Vegas or do what they do. But yeah, then anytime I would bring that up to my dad, like my dad, he was never in my life. I probably seen him 10, 20 times. And then anytime I would bring it up to my dad or my uncles, they'd kind of get quiet or get kind of pissed and say not to be talking about that. And then my cousin, but we already knew. So, I mean, that's some cool history.
I know you mentioned your brother, bro. What was his name?
My brother's name was Brandon.
Brandon?
He killed himself. He was 25.
Were you guys really close?
Yeah, we were close as kids, and then my mother and his father divorced, and we moved from Cheyenne and Allen to Summerlin. It's crazy because I went freshman, junior, or freshman, sophomore year Cheyenne, and then I went junior, senior year to Palo Verde in Summerlin, and then my brother with him, he did freshman, sophomore year at Palo Verde, and then my mom kicked him out for smoking weed, and he had to go back to North Las Vegas with his dad and do junior, senior year at Cheyenne. So we went to the same schools, just like opposite years and stuff. But you know, I miss him. I love him. Miss him.
Rest in peace to your brother, bro.
Yeah, we called him B-Dub 420. For Brandon, and then his last name's Wellnitz, and then 420 because he always got high. Well, he liked to smoke weed.
Like most of us do, huh?
Yeah, but yeah, he made us proud before he died. You know, shoot, he was doing better than me. He had a 3-4 bedroom house, brand new truck, 80-inch TV. He had bought like a $2,000 barbecue. Had a $22 an hour job. He worked for the government, and then yeah, just he we honestly really don't know. He just had some mental problems. We really don't know why he did it.
How long did he serve? Do you know where
he
served?
did like 4 years in at the Marines with the Marines. It was crazy because I had lived with him for like a day and a half at his house, and before we had a fallout because he drank a lot. He was a drinker, and when he drunk, like he would turn into another person, and we got into it. And I told him because he was being sloppy. He was spitting. Like while he was talking to me, I was like, "Hey, dude, you need to chill out. You know, you're spitting and shit all over me when you're talking." And he got all mad. He went upstairs. He got a gun, came downstairs, put it to my face, and he said, "Get the fuck out of my house." And yeah, so last time I seen my brother, how he was drinking and stuff, and he changes to another person, and we got into it because he was being sloppy. And he goes upstairs, comes downstairs, because I had told him, you know, to chill out and stuff. And he was getting mouthy with me, and I told him, well, hey, I took off my shirt. I said, let's go to the backyard. And he got kind of shook up about that, so he went and got a gun. And when he put it to my face, I was like, I gotta go because, you know, I know this isn't him, and it could just go off, and he could have shot me. So I ended up leaving, and I had called my mom. She called his girlfriend. They had to get people over there to calm him down, and that was the last time I seen him. 3 weeks later, he shot himself, like on it's probably April 23rd. It's been 5 years. He had shot himself. So every April, May, June, because of Mother's Day, Father's Day, and his birthday was in March. So it's tough for me, my mom, for his dad. March, April, May, June, you know. And but I just want to make him proud. He liked that I rapped. He said it was good. He was proud of me. He would show everybody my old CDs and all that stuff too.
He was definitely proud of you then. Definitely. Rest in peace to your brother, bro.
Rest in peace, B-Dub.
Perfect, bro. Hey, just want to say, bro, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And you guys make sure you guys follow him. I'm going to put his IG and any other information you would like to put in. You guys make sure you follow Mr. Cin. Thank you, brother.